right, let's get ready to get this show started. This is Box Seats. I'm your host, Frank Holder. The show we talk about sports with a whole bunch of comedians. It's Monday morning. I hope you guys had a great weekend. Let me bring in my man, Talent. Known throughout the industry, of course, as doing the comedy since Def Comedy Jam and all of that, and then some. How was your weekend, bro?
Fantastic. Great. Got to work with some of my good friends. Shout out to Kim Coles and John Hinton and Don DC Curry and Carl Payne. It was stupendous, bro.
Yeah, I felt kind of funny with you sending me all those pictures after the fact. You know what? You the dude who literally sends people the information about how dope the party was after. And don't tell you the news about before the party. You send them after.
Well, here's the thing about the pictures is you really can't take them ahead of time. You got to wait till you're there.
Yeah, but I got to know about the info before the party. You know what I mean? Fig's in the building too. Fig, what's happening, man? How you doing, sir? How's everything?
Yeah, man, I'm doing great. Talent is doing way better than me because although he got to perform and party with those guys, they actually stayed at my house, and I had to feed them. So that's where it went all wrong for me.
What? That's one of the one of those moments. Mike Sean's in the building too. Mike Sean, how you doing, sir? How's everything, bro?
I'm good. I performed with a comedian called Power Wash, and I power washed the driveway. It seemed like a good idea, and then till like 3 hours into it, when I realized I still was performing with Power Wash, and so that was my weekend. So I didn't send any pictures to you about that, Frank. There was no after party or anything like that. Everything was good.
Yeah.
It's hard to do a power wash right after your power goes out.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Rodney Perry's also in the building. RP, what's happening? How you doing?
It's all good, man. I saw Mike power wash. You've been power washing for about a week and a half.
Yeah, the front, the back. Once you get started, it does get addictive.
I just bought a power wash. I ain't opened it up yet.
It's going to get addictive. Watch. It's like therapeutic for a second. It really is.
I seen you power washing. I pay to do the power wash about $400. I'm about to start taking it around and just showing up to people's yard. Like, you need some power wash.
You see that lime on the side of your house? I can take care of that. I can take care of that right now.
All right, so y'all, let's get ready to jump into the show. This is the show, like I said. Thank you all for watching the show. This is the show where we talk about sports with comedians, and we're gonna mix things up, and we're gonna do a lot of rapid fire stuff today. But we ain't starting off that with just yet because I want to jump into. Obviously, I gotta ask you guys a question. This is a big weekend in Major League Baseball. I'm gonna start with Talent, and I'm gonna keep it in the same order just for a second, Rodney Perry. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't hear nothing. I'm gonna keep it because I want to, I'm gonna mix it up after I ask Talent this, man. I have a question I want to ask you, T. I'm gonna start with you, man. They made some of the names of who's gonna be in Major League Baseball's All-Star game, man. Shohei Ohtani, a guy we was talking about since last year this time, right? How much he was breaking records and everything else. And I'll be honest with you, he's the first person I've ever seen pitch and hit at the same time. I was like, this dude is a phenomenal. So, question for you, Talent. I'm gonna ask all this. You all tell me this. Is this gonna be the dude who's gonna be baseball's first billion-dollar player? Talent, talk to me, man, because I think he could be because Japanese, everybody, he's got a lot of power behind him. He's got a lot of, obviously he's gonna have a lot of money behind him, endorsements in the United States and abroad. I think he could be the first baseball player who's a billion-dollar player while he's still playing. What's your thing?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, first of all, how lazy is baseball that if you do two things, you're great? How lazy of a sport? You can throw and catch. He throws and catches. First of all, it's a lazy sport. But yeah, it's easy because when you deal with the European and Euro-Asian market, just like somewhere like China alone, you're dealing with billions of people. So it's the equivalent to what if everybody is just supporting that he's Asian and give $1?
Yeah. Ooh.
Think about it. It's simple numbers. So to become the first billionaire player is not hard if you got your Asian community behind you. You know what I mean? Because I know that's the American way of looking at it, but the Asian way ain't gonna be as simple. They don't jump on the bandwagon like that. But you know how Americans are. We're very disrespectful. Everybody Chinese.
Yeah, that's very true. Rodney Perry, do you think Shohei Ohtani, not only is he tied Babe Ruth's record, Not only he's the only person since Babe Ruth to literally be a designated hitter and a pitcher. He's in his second year of Major League Baseball. He's got at least 15, maybe 20 good years to go. Do you think he'll be the baseball's first billion-dollar player?
I mean, I would like to say yes to that. I mean, it sounds cute, but to be honest, man, I don't know if the guy can get me to buy anything. I mean, at the end of the day, that's kind of what you're looking for. Somebody that's marketable, somebody that's also in fashion, also in movies and or TV, and I don't see him doing that. I mean, he's a great player, but to be a billionaire, you have to breach other things, and I don't see him doing that. I think it'll be somebody else, or when they start bringing black folks back in, get some charisma back in the sport.
Yeah. Okay, we'll get to that point in a second. We'll definitely get to that point in a second. Fig, let me ask you this, Brett. Aaron Judge, is it Aaron Judge? His name Aaron Judge? I want to
Aaron Judge, yep.
Yeah. Aaron Judge literally is a guy who's right now he's dealing with contract and everything else, and he's trying to get paid. Is he going to be the one that's going to set the bar for Shohei Ohtani to become a billionaire? Because everybody expects him to get a 10 to 15 year contract. Can Shohei Ohtani look at his contract, what Aaron Judge gets, and then say, you know what, that dude's just a designated hitter, and he's getting, let's say, 10 years, literally $500 million. I should get, 15 years, $750 million. I mean, that's the way I'm looking at the math. What do you think, Fig?
Hey, listen, man. In sports, the funny thing about sports is what the last guy got, you gotta be able to do better. So if they give Aaron Judge, one of them major contracts, I see Shohei Ohtani, man. He be able to do it, man. He got the name. He got the skill. Shohei Ohtani. That's like Willie Mays. The say hey kid. Shohei, say hey. You know what I mean? Listen, right now, if Shohei Ohtani opened up a chain of Chinese restaurants, he could be the showman.
Oh, God. Oh, racist at his finest.
Hold up. Tell me there's one dude on this panel that hadn't gone into a fast food Chinese restaurant and got them 4 wings with French fries and hot sauce and ketchup. Oh, God. Shohei Ohtani's. It could be a franchise.
Oh, my God.
That's worth $1 billion right there.
I'm not going to say you're racist. I'm just going to say you're racially ignorant.
Yeah.
Mike Sean, let me ask you this.
I like Chinese food.
Mike Sean, let me ask you this, bro. If he was just a pitcher, he literally would be looking at 5 years, $375, $400 million. But he's not. Shohei Ohtani is a pitcher and a designated hitter, and he's a second-year All-Star, 2 years in the league.
Yeah, I just want to apologize for Fig turning this Paul player into Benny Hannes. I just want to apologize right now for them comments. I just want to ask y'all, how bad are the Anaheim Angels that have the 2 best players in baseball and can't even make the playoffs? Yes, this man will become a billionaire, but I will tell you this. He's an amazing player, something we've never seen before. Baseball, listen to me. I do not have 4 hours to spend watching a game. You guys, I don't care how great the player is. I watched a game that was 4.5 hours, people. Like, you got to shorten the game. This guy will be a billionaire, but if you want my interest, you got to do something. You got to have a clock on the pitchers. If basketball has a 24-second clock and football has a play clock also, have a pitch clock and cut these games down so I can spend like 2 hours like a normal person and go power wash my driveway in time. Yeah.
Or how about this? How about just having televised games with teams in contention like Red Sox, Yankees all the time? You know what I mean? Have something like that. I mean, maybe that might make sense. You know what I mean? But Rodney Perry, man, I'm gonna start the next one off with you, man. You get this first one. Oh, you want to ask something, Rodney? Go ahead, Rodney.
Before we go past there, I don't know if y'all have a concept of what $1 billion is. Like, $1 billion is a lot. It's like 999 million plus 1. Like, we're nowhere near that.
Show him, Rodney. Show him. Pull it up. Pull $1 billion.
I mean,
show him.
I ain't got it. And it'll take $9,000 to me to get even a half of it.
But Rodney, let me make sure you understand this. Pitchers right now are literally in the $350 to $400 million 5 to 7 year contracts right now.
That's nowhere near $1 billion, Frank.
Let me say.
But he does two things.
Pitchers. Now you got a hitter. You can look at any of the latest top hitters. They're at $450, $500 million. He's getting ready to get paid twice to do the exact in the same game. So he's adding that. He's not getting ready to be paid for that. And then they're going to stretch him out to a 15, 20-year contract. He could be.
Look at the math, bro.
I just did.
It's nowhere near each other, dude.
No, he kind of did the math. He did the math in front of
I
you.
did the math. He's wrong.
It was 500.
Wrong, man.
It was 500 million, and then it was 3 more that got it to 800 million, which is kind of close to $1 billion.
Look it up, guys. Look,
it's only 200 million off.
Yeah, and I didn't even do
200 million. Are you serious?
I didn't even do the 80.
These ain't dollars. It ain't $50. It's hundreds of millions.
But Rodney,
you nowhere near each other.
But Rodney, you didn't even.
Let me give you a great example. And Tyler, please allow me to make this analogy.
Go ahead, brother.
You can have a heart attack and die or not. You understand me? You either got $1 billion or you don't. It ain't close. Ain't nothing close.
Yeah,
but Rodney, you didn't even include the chain of restaurants Fig said he's going to open. Like that's going to cover it right there.
That's going to cost him. That's going to cost him $1 billion.
Yo, man, this is hilarious.
We already got a chicken wing shortage.
Rodney, just because of that, you lost your turn, bro. I'm getting ready to jump to Mike Shaw. You lost your turn because
I don't give a damn.
I gotta say, y'all
don't know what $1 billion is. Oh, that's so close. It ain't close. We're gonna about 200 million.
Rodney, we're gonna come to you. We're gonna come to you. Matter of fact, we can come to you last so you get time to count. Time to count. All right, Mike Sean, I'm gonna get you started off this next one, man. Here we go. All right, so former governor of New Mexico, Bill Richardson, is heading to Moscow this week. He's going to participate in talks so he can help secure the release of Brittany Griner, who everybody was talking about over the weekend because in the WNBA All-Star game, the players came out in the second half. They all wore her number and everything else. People are trying to compare this to literally be the Jesse Jackson moment back in the 70s when Jesse Jackson helped release the players from Iran and everything else that were being held hostage and things like that. Do you think that this governor will be able to do that, Mike Sean? What's your thoughts?
You gonna tell me the biggest political punion they could get was the governor of New Mexico? Like they couldn't get anybody that did like he's got the power. Like that's like they should have said Patrick Beverly over there to try and negotiate it for all that. Like that's the best we could do. Like we couldn't send the attorney general of the country, or like we just sent the governor of New Mexico, which nobody knew who the governor of New Mexico was until you just said his name right now. Listen, I wish him luck. I wish him luck. I wish him luck.
I do too. Honestly, I do too. But Talent, you got this next one, man. You up for this one, man. Speaking of obviously negotiations and everything else, the NFL and the NFLPA have concluded on Friday. People are expecting the NFL and the NFLPA to come up with a decision for the Deshaun Watson case any day now, leading up between now and the start of the NFL season. So there's that. Question is do you think Deshaun Watson is going to get? Everybody said now is down to 4 games. You know, as of this time last week, people were expecting he's going to be suspended the whole season. Now it's down to 4 games. What do you think?
Right. I mean, that's what I agree with that too. I think it's going to be less games now. But first of all, before I even comment on that, Michael Shaw, apology to the governor of New Mexico, as well as all the New Mexicans in this country. All the New Mexicans are insulted.
I'm sorry.
But here's the thing. We talked about this last week. As it should be, the game should be, the threshold of the amount of games should be greatly diminished because of the end result with these cases. You can't still hold this dude to this astronomical whole season off, 10 games, this astronomical thing, when the people who got him in trouble in the first place are dropping like flies. So that has to have some sort of a detriment to the outcome of this. So if it was 8 games, and you've seen all these women drop out and bow out or take a quick paycheck, whatever case may be, yeah, that 8 needs to go to about 4.
Looks like
you're still respectively acknowledging the conduct code if anything did happen, but you're not going as to hard like he was penalized as a criminal because it never went there.
Hey,
the
Frank.
Business Bully's joined the show too. What's up, Business Bully? How you doing?
Good. What's up, everybody?
Mike,
What
Sean,
up,
what
sir?
you doing?
Just really quick, if he wants to guarantee that he's suspended for no games, he needs to get the governor of New Mexico to do the litigation. He'll be fine. I promise you. He won't get suspended for 1 game as long as the governor of New Mexico is in litigation for him.
Yeah, he definitely gonna get up in there. We're gonna be going back to Rodney Perry. Rodney Perry, I'm gonna come back to you right now, bro, and I'm gonna ask you this, man. The bottom line is this: is free agent offensive tackle Dwayne Brown got arrested in Los Angeles International Airport on a gun charge. The bottom line is this, Rodney Perry. When do you think these players who are free agents are going to learn that you don't walk around and you don't get on airports to go through airports with guns? When do you think somebody that's thought process is going to click? What are we talking about, Rodney? What's going on?
I mean, they have a right. It's America to carry a weapon. I mean, that's the NRA's position. Whether we have mass shootings or not, it's not athletes. It's an American problem, and I hopefully we'll see an end of this in our lifetime. But to be honest, I don't see it.
Yeah, but I don't know if you could go through an airport, especially LAX, with a gun, whether or not. Yeah, because he got arrested.
You're not supposed to. I mean, even if you have a conceal and carry, you're not supposed to be. I mean, you can carry a weapon in a case, but you can't have a weapon on your person in the airports in America.
Yeah, that to me, that's the problem that we having the problem right there. My man, the Business Bully.
You can't carry $1 billion if you don't got it.
There you go.
Speaking of which,
yeah, Business Bully. I'm gonna come back to you. I'm gonna come back to you with a question that you missed, and Rodney Perry don't seem to get the math on this, so I'm.
Well, I get the math. You don't get the math.
Okay, all right. So here it is. I'm gonna lay out to you. This is a fact. Shohei Ohtani. These are facts. He is the first player since Babe Ruth in his first 2 years to get into an All-Star game as a pitcher and a hitter. You follow me? Pitcher and a hitter. Okay.
Right.
Now,
Okay, got the conversation, but go ahead.
Hold on. Aaron Judge is up for the New York Yankees right now. He's trying to get a 15-year contract from the Yankees. They are at anywhere between $650 to $750 million. That's where they're at with him, and he's just a designated hitter. I'm saying, and I speculated that if Judge gets that contract and he's just a designated hitter, is it too far-fetched to say that Shohei Ohtani, when he comes up for his contract, that he could get $1 billion? He will be the first $1 billion active player. What you think?
I think it all depends on 2 things. The agent, period. Because at the end of the day, this dude, listen, the thing about Aaron Judge is 30 years old right now. Is he going to do 15 years? Maybe, maybe not, depending on how he takes care of himself, that type of situation. But with old boy, I'm going to tell you, man.
Probably not, though, right?
No, probably not. He'll do 10 of that 15.
He's talking about Judge.
You know,
Rodney,
it's just like
Judge. He's talking about Judge, Rodney. You ain't talking
but
about
I'm talking about Judge. Now, when it comes to Ohtani, I'm going to tell you this. 2 positions, look at what Deion did with Jerry Jones. Oh, you want to play defense or offense? Both. How much you want? 15, 20 million. Both. So that's what it comes down to, man. It comes down to how you negotiate that situation. But yeah, 2 all-star positions for one guy, well worth it.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes,
Make my case.
How
far away is $400 million from $600 million?
That's $200 million.
Well, it's $400 million. So $600 million, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying that's an astronomical distance away.
Yeah, because $400 million is 40% of $1 billion.
Exactly.
Well, let me say this. I got a GED, right? And
you
speaking
can't
of
talk about $100 million like it's $1 million. It's not $1 million.
Let me defend my GED because Business Bully think he pulled one over on everybody. He said come down to 2 things. The agent. That's one thing. One thing.
That's one thing. That's just one thing.
Wait a second. Hold up.
All right,
Rodney's hooked on 100 million and Taylor's hooked on one thing. I love it. I love this shit.
I think we can ready to do rapid fire. Fig, we can ready to get this thing started, man. Let's just jump into it right now, man. And I'm gonna start with all these people on the planet. Fig, you get the first one. We're gonna talk about the Lakers. Rodney Perry is a Lakers fan. I want to see how he talks about this one. But LeBron James and Russell Westbrook were seen not speaking over the weekend. They did not talk. They were at the summer game for the Lakers. Russell Westbrook was over way on this end, and LeBron was on the other end with the Lakers and the Lakers brass and everything else. Is this the beginning of the end of the apocalypse as the way you see it, Fig? What's your thoughts?
No, last year was the beginning of when Russell Westbrook was turning the ball over and missing layups. That was the beginning. Listen, here's the thing. LeBron James is presently courting Kyrie Irving. And you can't talk to the new chick and promise her that you're not going to talk to the old chick, and the old chick is in the same building. You're going to get in trouble. That's cheating. Because if Kyrie Irving catches LeBron James with Russell Westbrook, there's going to be problems. So this whole dating scenario here is taboo to talk to the ex or the one that you're trying to make the ex when you're trying to go back to your first love, which was Kyrie Irving. And you know Kyrie Irving is LeBron James' first love because they won a championship together. And LeBron James is having nostalgic memories about what it was like being with Kyrie, and he's trying to get rid of Russell Westbrook. So they can't talk. You can't get caught talking.
I know Rodney Perry wants to jump in on this. So, Rodney, you got the floor. What you think?
$1 billion.
Mike,
It's actually only 36 million. But look, it's any number of reasons why they could be in the same room and not speak to each other. I mean, the fact that you can start the whole sentence off with they were seen not speaking. What the hell? They weren't even on the same side of the room. How do you speak to somebody on the same side of the room? There's on the other side of the court. So I mean, right. I think it's probably less to it than that. The coach put out a comment this weekend talking about Russ. And as far as I'm concerned, he's still on the team till he's not on the team. And I'm sure LeBron feels the same way.
Mike, Sean, do you think the Lakers are literally about to take the backseat to the Clippers once obviously all this stuff goes down, or as teams as they currently are constructed?
Unfortunately, with the gossip and the drama that goes on, I don't think they'll ever take a backseat because they'll always have a better storyline than the Clippers ever will because we've never heard Kawhi Leonard talk. So when you got this whole situation where they're not speaking to each other, listen, LeBron, Michael Jordan, and Kobe Bryant have one thing in common. If you can't help them win a championship, they don't care about you. Kobe loved Pau Gasol because he helped him with a championship. He hated Dwight Howard because he did nothing for him. Like, there's no reason for them to talk. And Russell Westbrook, I kind of feel bad because he was used as the scapegoat for the whole season being torn apart. The one person they need to focus on for this year is Anthony Davis going to stay healthy? This ain't got nothing to do with Russell Westbrook. This has to do with Anthony Davis can stay healthy, then they got a shot with Kyrie. If Anthony Davis doesn't stay healthy, they won't make the playoffs like they did last year.
Town, do you think the Lakers will be contenders if they do add Kyrie with LeBron James and Anthony Davis? Do you think the Lakers will be contenders in the West?
Oh, absolutely. First and foremost, on the latter story, left out the rest of the room. Yeah, LeBron was on one side, Westbrook was on the other side, but Harden was in the other corner, and KD was in the last corner. So everybody that knew Westbrook wasn't speaking. So let's just be clear on that. Yeah, I think that let's be clear. With injuries and that one piece which they thought Westbrook was going to be, that he just ended up not being it. That was potluck. So now you change the pot up. You take that broth out and you add in a broth of Kyrie. You instantly back, barring injury, you back as a contender. You know, as much as people hate on LeBron, you have to deal with the facts. The facts is, as long as he's on your team, you got a shot at that ass. You know what I mean? You can win that shit. So he's still there. And as long as he's there, you interchange a couple of pieces here and there, i.e. the point guard. I mean, who knew? Let's call a spade a spade. If the dealer at the blackjack table lets you see the first card, then bet, your money changes. If you let me see you turn me up an ace, I'm betting everything I got because I got an ace. Chances are a brick coming around will have 21, but maybe it won't happen. And that's what happened with Westbrook. You showed him the ace. We just seen this dude run a season average in a triple-double. So everybody was like, yeah, hell yeah, no brainer. Let's get him. Instant chip. And something happened when he got there. And all it says, they found fentanyl in his short.
If y'all don't know, that's my man with the king of the analogies. That's talent right there, boy. He got the analogies all day long. All right.
He called the players broth.
Yeah, exactly. He did. All right, the business bullet. You get the last question before we start rapid fire. Rapid fire is we're gonna ask everybody a different question, but you get the last question pertaining to the Lakers. The question for the Lakers is for you, bro. Anthony Davis, do you expect him to have an all-star season this year? Because he's been hurt for the last year and a half. He's been on and off and everything else. But everybody's thinking he can't even put in a full season without getting hurt. You know, but he had a spectacular offseason so far, supposedly. What you think, Billy?
Here's the thing, Frank, to be quite honest with you, I think we all need to have a little perspective. Proverbs 4:7 says, and all that getting, get an understanding. And you have to understand that Anthony Davis will have an amazing season, an all-star season, in comparison to the 1996 Martin Luther King High School Philadelphia basketball team. The dude is constantly limping, hurt, banged up. You know, the only thing that stays intact is man's eyebrow. So I don't know what to tell you at this point, Frank, other than to tell you that, yeah, no, absolutely not.
All right, there it is. There it is.
Yeah,
Mike,
no,
Sean, we get ready to start rapid fire. You got up first question, man. First question you got up, man. John Wall came over the weekend. He got interviewed by a reporter. He said he doesn't have to be Batman every night, and basically saying that, you know, he's going to get their third best defender, everything else. And people are expecting big things from him and the Clippers. How do you like seeing John Wall being added on the Clippers right now, the way they stand as with the obviously with the roster they got, Mike? Where you at?
A player like John Wall is always dangerous when everybody in unison has been saying he's washed up and he's done and that he can't do this and he can't do that. And he's absolutely correct when he says all he has to do is average 17 points a game and have 6 assists a game and play some defense, and Kawhi and Paul George can take care of the rest.
Right.
Like, he's absolutely right that for the first time in his life, he's not stuck in Washington where they expect him to save the franchise. He now can be a team player, point guard. He can hit an occasional three-pointer. He obviously still got speed. So, yeah, I think he's probably 100% right, and the Lakers could have problems in L.A.
There it is. So, Rodney Perry, you get the next question up, man. Should the Warriors be interested in a reunion with Kevin Durant? Because the owners were asked this weekend, and a lot of ESPN reporters came out over the weekend saying that the owners are meeting with the Nets owners, and people are starting to speculate there's a possible chance for the Golden State Warriors to trade for Kevin Durant with the Nets. You think they should do that?
I mean, I think Kevin Durant presents the Lakers with the best opportunity to repeat as champions. I mean, they had to scrap this year. You know, they faced a haphazard Boston team. So, I mean, they need KD, I think, but hopefully they can get him without, parting with too many pieces. And so I think the short answer is absolutely they need KD, and we'd love to see that for another chip anyway.
Yeah. Fig, question for you is, if Kevin Durant does end up going, does this tarnish his legacy if he approves the trade? Because ultimately in his contract, he has to approve the trade. If he agrees to approve the trade to go from Brooklyn back to the Golden State Warriors, this tarnishes trade in the way everybody else looking at it?
In the minds of the fans, it probably will. Or in the minds of the fans that don't like Kevin Durant, it probably will, because he never won before going to Golden State, and he hasn't won after. The caveat to that is the Golden State Warriors won before and after him. The last time he went there, they had just come off a 73-game winning season.
Yeah.
And now they will be coming off a championship. Kevin Durant will be killed on social media if he goes back to the Golden State Warriors right after they won the championship.
Yeah, that's definitely the talent. Talent. Phil T up in there. All right, T. Ultimately, the Golden State Warriors just won the NBA championship. They lost 3 or 4 players, obviously, over the weekend. Their summer league, they've been playing very, very good in the summer league. Literally, people are talking about their roster right now as is. They even added a couple of great pieces. Right now, people are saying they can go back and repeat. What are you thinking at Golden State Warriors? You think Golden State Warriors can come back and repeat as NBA championship the way their roster stands now?
Yeah, it looks good. It looks great. But even when something looks great, the inside job takes you over the top to guarantee that win. That's Kevin Durant. If I'm Kevin Durant and I can go back to Golden State, you think I care about what Twitter and these kids are going to say and basketball fans are going to say? I'm about to stack another chip. I'm about to get my paper. And I've solidified my place in NBA history. So I can't get caught up. He's a grown man in the NBA right now. He's not one of the young kids. He's a grown man. The grown men care less about that. The young dudes, they're always on Twitter, they're always on TikTok, so they probably care more about becoming a meme. Michael Jordan and Kevin Durant don't care about memes. There's so many bad hair memes with Kevin Durant. I seen one the other day, and it said the man that fell to the earth. And it was like a aerial view of the top of his head. I messed up and peasy it is, and it was like the man that fell to the earth. It was horrible and funny at the same time. But my point is, that's about as close as a guarantee you can get to somebody saying you're guaranteed to win a chip again this year, back to back. So if I'm Golden State, it's no brainer. And damn sure if I'm Kevin Durant, it's no brainer.
Yeah, I agree with that. The business bully, Dame Lillard, on Friday afternoon made it official where he signed a 2-year extension for $122 million. And over the weekend, all the way up to this morning, people are like, bro, you need to leave. Like, you need to demand a trade. He came out publicly over the weekend at the Summer League saying he wants to stay and he wants to build on the future there. He's been 10 years in the league with Portland. Business bully, should he wake up and smell the coffee and try to get out there? Because people are starting to compare him to possibly maybe like a Kevin Garnett. Like, bro, don't waste up all your prime years there and get out. What do you think?
I'm sorry, how much was the contract again, Frank?
2 years, $122 million extension.
Woo! Yeah, no. Let me tell you something, bro. Do you know what you could do? Even if he got half that for the next 2 years, like, I thought we were in this to make money because it's obviously not about basketball. Because if it was about basketball, then the refs wouldn't have these earpieces in. Oh, wait, I can't say that right now. It's okay. We're going to act like the game is actually not rigged. And we'll just go back to financially. You already know the shelf life for an NBA player is short. The majority of NBA players, unless you're like on Mount Rushmore of your generation,
right,
you wind up broke. If I'm Dame Lillard, I'm gonna stay right the hell where I am. You want to know why? Because sometimes you got to be solid. You got to be like those old car commercials, like a rock, just staying there, not letting nothing happen, but getting that money.
Get that money.
Get that money.
There it is. Get it. Fig, you get ready to get at the first one, man. It's another round of rapid fire. You got the first question. I don't even know if you saw this or not, Fig, but Ja Morant was interviewed over the weekend talking about Michael Jordan, and he said, I would have cooked him too. Now, all of us were old enough to have seen both these guys play. We have some issues with that. But first of all, before I even say what I think, tell me what you think about Ja Morant saying that. Do you think he was kidding? Do you think he meant what it meant? I don't know. What your thoughts about him saying, I would have cooked Michael Jordan?
Well, first off, the first thing I did when I saw that is I Googled Michael Jordan to see if that was a new meat that they had come out with when he said he cooked him. I was like, I thought it was something that he was going to put on the grill, but he was actually talking about the player, Michael Jordan. So then the next thing I came up with is maybe Ja Morant wants to eat goat because that's what Michael Jordan is. You're going to cook Michael Jordan and eat him, and that's goat. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I came up with. Ja Morant has lost all of his marbles if he think that him and Michael Jordan at the same age, you can cook him. You have lost your mind.
Yeah,
Michael Jordan was jumping out of the gym when Ja Morant was still swimming in his father's.
Yeah. We know about that part, Fig. We know about that part. So let me ask you this, Rodney Perry. Are the younger players of today's basketball, are they disrespecting the idols? Are they disrespecting the guys who came before them? Is it that's disrespectful for Ja to even say something like that? What you think, Rodney Brand?
I wouldn't call it disrespect. They just don't care. I mean, and it's kind of a the bravado makes it easy to kind of rise up and dunk on somebody. They don't care. And you see that in comedy, you see it in music, you see it every generation. There's a group of people that don't give a damn about the previous generation. But the reality is they all kind of, time is a great equalizer. So what happens is they talk trash about the past, and then 5 years later, they're like, man, I thought we was gonna get right back, and we never did get back. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's let time tell if Ja Morant even gets back. I mean, some people are excited about this Memphis team, but they may never get back.
That's true.
I want a piece of that.
That's true. And they might literally jump into to go to the next 5 finals. You just never know. Mike Sean, you want to add on to that?
They're not.
I want to add the guy who leads my franchise. I want him to say that. I want him to believe that. Because the one guy who entered the league who wanted to cook Michael Jordan was Kobe Bryant. Mm-hmm. I want that attitude. I don't need you bowing down to people while you're the leader of my franchise. And guess what? We act like Mike ain't got cooked before. Mm-hmm. We got video of him getting cooked. He's a human basketball player who's the greatest, the GOAT. But if I got the young man with that attitude, that's the guy I built my franchise around. That's the Kobe mentality. You ain't got to bow down to somebody before you if you think you're on the same level. That's the confidence you're supposed to have. Yeah. I applaud the young man.
Yeah, I can't even say that's disrespectful. But Talon, I'm going to ask you this, man. Some of these young players, believe it or not, they just overlook what some of these other players have said. And I heard this morning that several of the ex-NBA player dudes were saying that was a highly disrespectful thing. And then a couple of other younger guys came in and said, cook doesn't mean what it means to us, the older guys. Right. So are we looking at it the wrong way? See, what you think? Do you think he meant it in a disrespectful way, or respectfully he was just trying to say, yo, I can just burn this dude? And then I'll say this. When Ja Morant was basically Allen Iverson size. Yeah, Allen Iverson got a couple of moves on him, but when it was time for Mike to get the ball, we saw what he did. So, T, what's your thoughts on this, T?
Well, I mean, cook mean cook. Don't listen to these young dudes try to change the word cook. Nah, I mean, it cook mean, you dap them up. Cook is cook. If you say I'll cook him too, we know what that means. But here's the thing, bro. I kind of understand the young dude's bravado in this situation. Nobody should bow. I don't think they should bow. I'm like Mike. I want that competitiveness. I want you to talk smack. That's half the game. However, there's a thing called respect. Now, you can respect somebody without bowing down. We do it all the time as comics. We come across some that came before us that are great, that are icons, that we're coming behind to kick some doors open. And they might not be your favorite comic or whatever, but you at least respect them. You got to do that, right? Problem with this is why I kind of half-ass understand why there is a disconnect in the respect is, believe it or not, the older players started this. When they started hating on the younger players because the money structure changed, that started this feuding and lack of respect thereof on both ends. But I blame the older players. I watched it happen over a decade ago when they let hating ass Walton do the games.
Yeah.
When the games was on ABC or NBC, and they hired Walton to do all the primetime joints, and every game, I ain't gonna bull you or hold you. Every game he had something to say about a young rising star or a guy who made a name for himself, and all it came down to was money. He'll talk for 30, 40 minutes, and at minute 43, something gonna let you know he mad about the money. Bruh, times change, everything's changed. Look at your own rent where you live at. You used to pay $700 a month. Now you pay $15. Things change, economics change. And the old dudes, when they talk about the young dudes, they go right to, he don't deserve the money, he trash, that's too much money, blah, blah, blah. Do you understand you're messing with somebody's livelihood of this day and age, this cost of living? So the young boy's been clapping back. I'm not mad.
Bro, you hit a nail on the head. You hit a nail on the head. All right, another round of rapid fire. You're watching Box Seats. This is the show we talk about sports with comedians. We're getting ready to switch to the NFL. The business bully getting ready to start out this round. Lamar Jackson came out over the weekend, and literally said, I need money in his grill and everything else. And people are shocked. First up, people are shocked. He ain't even got his contract yet because the NFL basically starting in 10 days. People, actually 7 days.
Right.
It starts and he ain't got his money yet. And then other people are saying he doesn't have his money because his mama is his agent. So where are you at right now, literally? Because Lamar Jackson right now he's on pace literally right now, he's getting ready to make $23.1 million for his base salary this year. He can get literally still tagged this year and next year. He's trying to get in $35 million, and he might want more. What do you think about this business? You think it's his mom is being his agent is the problem? You think he just was holding out? You think he's mad? What's your thought process?
Well, I think two things. Number one, just because somebody puts something on social media doesn't necessarily mean it is directly tied to them. That's point number one. Point number two, why would we throw his mama under the bus? Listen, unless his mama is also the mama of Gary Coleman, God rest his soul, I think he's in decent hands. Because Gary Coleman's parents, if y'all remember from different shows, Gary Coleman's parents sat up there and took all his money to the point where he was a Paul Blart Mall cop at the end of his life. This is not that. If you got 23 million on deck in a week, it's okay. There's still time on it. Sometimes things come down to the last minute. I've negotiated deals up to and literally up until the last minute that I walked on a stage or showed up at a radio station. Sometimes that happens. Like, I think this is making a mountain out of a molehill and taking something out of nothing. And of course, let's go ahead and disparage a black woman who's doing something that does not normally happen in the NFL, which is be an agent for a young, talented black man who also happens to be your son. Come on.
Yeah, Mike Sean. Let me ask you this, Mike. The bottom line is this. People are saying that he's not top 10. ESPN did literally, they polled everybody in, executives, they polled agents, they polled everybody they could ask, and Lamar Jackson didn't crack the top 10. And that's their counterpoint of the Lamar Jackson situation. What's your thoughts?
This is not disparaging his mom, but this is why you need a real agent. The minute he won the MVP, I would not have stepped on the football field till I had an entire new contract. The moment I'm given the award as the best player in the sport, we now have to rip the contract to smithereens, and I now have to become the highest paid player in the NFL. Just like Dak Prescott did. And he didn't even win the MVP. And Dak was like, listen, I need this money. And I don't know what her history is. I don't know what her college education is. I don't know what she's doing, but I do know the opportunity to renegotiate is when he won the MVP, not when ESPN now puts him as number 11 or number 12 in the top, outside the top 10 quarterbacks, because you can tell they're starting to stack the chips on why not to give him the contract. And the Ravens are now going to use this year as leverage. And if he doesn't perform up to an MVP status, it'll be used against him next year.
That's funny you say that, because Rodney Perry, Dak Prescott was in the top 10, picked in the top 10 of that list. Obviously, Lamar Jackson was not. And again, people are saying that, hey, Dak Prescott is worthy of that money he got, and Lamar Jackson is not. But Lamar Jackson was an MVP 2 years ago. What's your thoughts on this situation, Rodney Perry?
I mean, we were all clamoring for Dak to get his money, and now it's time for Lamar to get his. I mean, it's just a different situation. It's a different time. And this is a constantly evolving situation. Every time somebody's up to get their paper, the league, the ownership, the slave masters come out of their way to make you look less than what you are. And so that's fine. They're going to continue to do that. Is his mom adequate representation? I mean, she's been okay up to this point, but he's still in a rookie contract. That's easy to negotiate. I mean, this thing gets way more complicated as we navigate that second deal. And Lamar Jackson is still cold as hell, you know. And so, should he get his money? He will get it. They're gonna have to belly up to the bar, or they're gonna lose him. And I know you don't want that.
Yeah, I got talent and figure to go talent. Let me ask you this, bro. At the end of the day, Deshaun Watson's in that top 10 list. Literally, they just polled. He didn't even play last year. He didn't play. Lamar Jackson is literally not in it. Fair list to be trying to be a pushback to that. You think that's kind of fair? What you think?
No, he should definitely be top 10. But Mike hit the nail on the head, man. It's like I always tell people, like, even going to a show, I'm like, dude, you have to be early because as soon as you come in a minute late, they can dock you. And they're looking. People don't want to pay you. I don't care what you think about yourself. They don't want to give you what they give you. So they want any reason to take some of that back. And that's what he's going through. Now we're going to do a media assassin. Yeah, he's top 10, but we can say not. We can squoze him out and get somebody like ESPN to go along with it. It hits the airway. And he's right. Your negotiation, the leverage just changed the negotiations. So I think personally he's in top 10, but you got a guy beating you out who didn't even play last year. So, and the reason they leave him in because you can't affect it because his deal's done.
Right.
His deal's done, but we can affect this deal. So let's make this Negro work a little bit, make him run a little more. We like Negroes running.
All right, so let's get ready to do another round. And we get ready to start off the next round. Fig, did you go? Did I get you that? Fig, did I get you?
No.
Go ahead, Fig. Go ahead.
Well, see, here's the thing. You can tell it's slander when you look at the top 10 list. I looked at the top 10. They got George Blanda, Wyatt Tittle, and Joe Namath is in the top 10 list, and Lamar Jackson couldn't make it. I don't understand how that is. You can't take nobody on the top 10, put them on the Baltimore Ravens, and ask them to do anything close to what Lamar Jackson could do with that system over there. They built their entire system around Lamar Jackson, and he is the piston that makes that machine run. And you're not going to pay him. You haven't given him any decent receivers. His front line, offensive line was injured. He hasn't had credible running backs. But now you don't want to pay the guy who is making it go. He is everything to that team. He is the running back. One time I saw Lamar Jackson throw the ball in the air, run down in the end zone, and catch his own pass. That's how sorry the Baltimore Ravens team is. And this is the guy you don't want to pay? That's sad, man. And I can't. ESPN has lost their credibility when this guy doesn't make the top 10. That's ridiculous.
I can't even dispute anything you said. Get ready to start another round of rapid fire, and this guy going first is going to be named as Mike Sean. Mike Sean, Baker Mayfield was called childish and immature over the weekend by some executives that ESPN and The Athletic talked to. They said he's very childish and very immature and did not handle certain situations that they were dealing with and everything else. Now, we looking at it from this side, the way we look at it on this side, obviously we don't know all the stuff and everything else. You believe that the reports that you're hearing about Baker Mayfield, or they just trying to diminish his name? What's your thought process on this, Mike?
If they would have told me that, I would have looked at them and said, duh. Did you see how he acted in college?
Well,
did you see when he was running from the cops in college?
Oh, jam.
But you ignored all that. You ignored it. And you said, we'll take him anyway. I don't understand. Like, he's not doing anything that they didn't tell you he was already doing when he was in college. And you then drafted him number 1, which his ego then exploded because you actually said that Baker Mayfield was the best player in college football and took him number 1. And what you did was you created a monster that you couldn't handle. And before he played his first game, he had 600 commercials, and I'm not hating on him. I would have done the commercials too. Mm-hmm. And in the commercials, he literally had the key to the stadium. So that's what y'all got. Y'all created something, but the thing was, it was already there. You guys you discovered something out the clear blue sky, like he was a missionary worker helping the homeless and building homes and stuff like that. No, he was wilding out in college. I don't get.
He definitely was. He definitely was. Business Bill, you want to add on to that?
Yeah, I mean, isn't this the same guy that wouldn't throw to Odell Beckham Jr.?
Yeah,
ain't that him? Isn't this the same guy that was having press conferences, acting like a whiny little entitled trust fund brat with affluenza? Frank?
Yeah.
Why is it? You know what this feels like to me? And maybe I'm wrong. Somebody stop me here. You ever watch these women go on Jerry Springer back in the day, and Jerry says, "Hey, your boyfriend's here to bring you a surprise. What do you think it is?" I don't know. Maybe we're going on a cruise. Have you seen this show? Do you not know what this? That's what he does, bro. Like, Yes, he's a pain in the neck. He's overhyped. He's over sensationalized, and I hate to break it to everybody. He's decent, but he's not what everybody's made him out to be, and his behavior cost him so much. Thanks for coming to my
Yeah,
TED
but he
Talk.
made Rodney Perry. He made a lot of money. You know, he literally had the Browns was one game away from literally getting to the AFC Championship game 2 years ago, and they imploded within the last year. So are we going to see the Baker Mayfield of 2 years ago this upcoming season? Or are we going to see the Baker Mayfield of last year, Rodney Perry?
I mean, you guys know how I feel about the Cleveland Browns. It's it's a city of losers. My friend David Arnold, fabulous comedian, but a loser.
Hey, Steve Harvey from there.
Steve Harvey, great guy, loser. Let me say something. If you root for the Cleveland Browns, you are inherently, it's in your soul, you're a loser. So you take a guy like Baker Mayfield, who showed all his promise, but guess what he did? He got drafted to the Cleveland Browns. By the way, I'll be there next week. Cleveland Improv, and I'm excited to see you guys. But I get to leave.
When you leave, what will they be when you leave, Rodney?
Losers. They will be losers, and it's not a Baker Mayfield. So the question is, will he go somewhere else and be great? If he can wash that loser juice off.
He went to the Panthers, bro. He went to the Panthers. So I don't know about that one. Fig. Will you want to add on to the Baker Mayfield being called childish on the way out the door? But now he's on the Panthers, so everybody's expecting he can possibly turn around. They got rid of Cam Newton, and they're thinking that the outlook looked bright for them over in Carolina.
You know, there's a couple of things about Baker Mayfield. When he got to Cleveland, they had won one game in 2 seasons. He took them to the playoffs. Then they gave him all these promises, gave him the keys to the stadium, just like you said, all these endorsements, commercials, and stuff like that. They said, baby, this is your team. You are our guy. You're going to take us to the promised land. And then they went out and got another boo. And now you want to call him childish? He's a jilted lover. That is like giving a woman an engagement ring and then inviting her to your wedding. How do you do that? You can't do it. Then you're going to call him childish? Like, what's wrong with you?
Sometimes things like that happen, but they weren't planned to happen.
Well, yeah. Stop talking about Michael Schoen, Fig.
I'm sorry, Mike. I didn't mean to hit a nerve. I'm sorry.
You want to add up to that, bro? You want to add up to that?
Why are we still talking about Johnny Manziel? How did we get off the alopecia? Guys, we got to get current here. Come on, man.
Wow.
I mean, that's all I'm hearing right here. When you talk about, think how synonymous this is. Cleveland Brown, famous quarterback, immature, childish. That's Johnny Manziel. That's Johnny Manziel. Tattoos and getting drunk, coming in. Johnny Manziel was the Rod Strickland of football. He can come in from the club, go up on the field, and play that scrimmage. Listen, obviously, like Mike Sean said, who surprises this? Really, nobody's surprised. And here's my thing: when you get a new employee, because that's what he is to the organization, you get a new employee that come in with an attitude. You gotta expect this. He's coming from a disgruntled breakup. He was treated, he was wronged, it wasn't smooth. You get that guy. The next person to get that guy, that's why I go on a date and I find out this girl's fresh back in the single world, I dump her right there that night.
Wait, what?
I dump her right there that night. I'm not gonna be that guy for you. Because you're going to come in, you're going to be childish, you're going to have an attitude, you're going to be hard to manage or coach. I can't mold you.
So how many dates can they have? How many dates before you could actually date somebody? How many?
First of all, depends if the Negro lived in Cleveland. If it's a New York, Boston, New Jersey, Philly dude, I'll give her a month or two to get herself together. But if you're from Cleveland, lose my number.
Oh man, y'all, that was definitely he got the last word. T, thank you for that. Yeah, the show. Believe it or not, the show's over. All right, so before we get ready to get up out of here, Town, please tell everybody about that weekend that you just had, man. Like that was phenomenal. You breezed over it real fast. Like you didn't talk about it. Tell everybody a little something about
Well,
it.
let me say this. I'm gonna do it again. Because if we got out that place is a big place. The King Theater hold 3,000. We got out 1,700 in the middle of the summer. Everybody knows summer's the hardest time to promote these concert events. And they got those people out because people wanted to see the camaraderie of these sitcom all-stars. You had Don D.C. Curry on there. You had Mark Curry was on there. You had what's my girl? Kim Coles, John Hinton, and Carl Payne. And they all went out there with that dope, like making people feel at home and local energy. The show was stupendous. Shout out to Raiders Don from Laughaholics for putting that on. Stupendous time. And I just happened to have a night off and said, I'm in town. Let me go, I'll put together some It's Just Comedy gift bags and gave them out to the crowd, keep the brand alive. But man, that was one of the best. That one and that Buffalo show, the backstage energy was the best.
And Talent, there was a tweet that the fans really got a treat when the governor of New Mexico did 5 minutes.
Oh my God!
I couldn't believe they said the governor of New Mexico is doing 5 minutes.
Yeah, and they all wear number 42. Rodney Perry, tell everybody about that. How to follow you. And did you have a phenomenal weekend too, Rodney? I know you travel a lot too, so I know you did.
My wife has been out of town. So I've just been here with the kids for the most part. But speaking of stuff coming down the pipe and really dope events, September 4th, Chicago, Rodney Perry, Damon Williams, Leon Rogers, Michael Collier, and George Wilborn. All on one show. Crazy show, September 4th. I'm super excited, man, about this and going home. In the words of the great Kanye West, coming home again.
And where's that going to be at? And where?
Cleveland.
Our numbers in Cleveland are tanking right now.
By way of New Mexico.
By way of New Mexico.
Fig, go ahead. Tell everybody out there to follow you, bro. Go ahead.
Man, you can follow me on social media platforms at Comedian Fig. And I'm still cleaning up from all them stars staying at my house, man. I'm making beds and washing dishes and throwing away paper plates.
There it is. Business Bully, bro.
And follow me on all platforms at The Business Bully. I am nowhere. I'm sitting on my black ass doing nothing because Rodney Perry and Talent won't return my calls, but that's all right. Go ahead.
And Mike Sean, you still doing the power thing this weekend? Upcoming
Yeah,
weekend?
doing the power washing. 2 shows on Friday, 2 shows on Saturday, and 1 show on Sunday. Just straight power washing the entire neighborhood. I got the entire neighborhood on smash.
Hey,
You the neighborhood power wash guy?
I need you guys Sunday, man.
Yo, the name of the show is called Box Seats. Talent, tell everybody who we got coming up this week, man. I forgot about that.
All right, so get already locked in for Thursday. Special guest, the new coach of LIU, Rod Strickland, will be on the Box Seats.
Hey.
Right now, Friday, the father of the newly acquired New York Knicks point guard, Rick Brunson, will be on Friday. So we getting it together, man. We getting back to our guests and making it happen.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Yo, the show's called Box Seats. The repeat of Box Seats is going to be on Humor Mill, the broadcast linear channel. It's all of that you can find on Humor Mill. That's Talent. That's Fig. That's Rodney Perry. That's Business Bully. That's Mike Sean. We'll see y'all tomorrow. We got a great week. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. Thank y'all for watching.